Hey everyone, welcome back. Today we're going to be talking about how to highlight your firm with content on Facebook, okay? Here's the thing, we all know it's intimidating, right? What do I post? How do I do it? At the best, when it's done right, it can be really personal and authentic and professional, and that's what we want to go for. When it's done wrong, it can come off as narcissistic, and we don't want to have that image with our community. So let's talk about this first off from a high level. Here's an example of what we're going to be doing when talking about your content that talks about your firm. We want to bridge the gap from your firm over to your community, okay? Now here's the thing. When you're sitting over here, you need to make a bridge, a connection over here. The way to do that is by relating to your community. So what your firm does, when you post about it, it has to relate to your community, okay? If it doesn't relate to your community, you're just sitting over here by yourself in the grave, only talking about yourself, not your community, okay? And that's the main point that you need to understand when you're making posts about your firm. Connect that to the community, make sure you're referencing the community. Okay, so that's the main point you want to talk about here. So some ways to do that, right? We want you to show the things that make you, you, right? Really bring out your character. If you had something that you said, man, I wish everybody knew this about who we are, and think beyond service. Everyone likes to say, hey, my differentiator is service. Think beyond that. Think about what makes you as a character. What is your culture? Things like that. And I'm not talking about putting up things like personal stuff like, hey, we bought a bunch of pins today. You know why nobody cares about that and that won't do well? Because you're only talking about your firm. We need to bridge that gap over to the community. So you want to talk about things that positively affect your community, right? You want to talk more about the connection to the community than you want to talk about what you're doing with yourself, right? So think about those types of things. Sometimes it can be, hey, we just remodeled, and because we remodeled, we're able to fill in more of our community members into this space, okay? You see how you just made that connection to your community? Or maybe it's, hey, we're going to the Veterans Day Parade. We like to go to the Veterans Day Parade because we serve a lot of veterans in the community, and we have a unique approach to how we do that, okay? That again is connecting that very personal stuff to the community. Okay, so that's how you want to position your community. Now, with your community, if you also look at things like, we just landscaped, that can say, hey, we love to update our landscaping to make it look more in line with the beautiful community we live in. Okay. Now, a note on the captioning. When you either make a caption or something like that, make sure that you're calling out your community by name and saying, hey, we're honored and pleased to be serving this community, okay? So talk about how much you enjoy working with the community and things like that. You also want to use this for pics or videos, okay? You can just snap a pic, take it, put it up there. Don't go too fancy. I know a lot of people like to say, hey, I'm gonna get a professional service to create these posts. You can just take a photo and put it up there. Don't overthink it. Additionally, with videos are great. They get the most interaction on Facebook. Do not make your videos long. And when I say don't make them long, keep them about 10, 20, 30 seconds, right? If you go longer than that, that's where you start to get a decrease in returns. Anything over 30 seconds is gonna be too long. So remember, keep your video short. Once you get that post out on Facebook, make sure you boost it, okay? People will see that you're calling out the community, that you are mentioning them, that you're serving the community. When you boost it, you're gonna get a lot more interaction. Now, it's important to intermix this type of content with other type of content. You don't want to just be putting stuff about your firm. You don't want somebody to go to your Facebook page and only see the things that you've been doing. Remember, people are inherently selfish, and what they want to know is, well, how does it affect me? That's why we're bridging that gap over your community. How does it affect them? Okay, so intermix it with educational content. Look at some of our previous videos where we talk about the 4 main types of content that will help you engage and connect with your community. Okay, so last note on this, a lot of people like to talk about things within their firm. Take a staff profile pic and put up a bio. That type of stuff is great, but it only gets relation to the community when people know who that is. You can introduce somebody and you're basically saying, hey, this is a new member of our community if it's a new person that just moved in there, but relate that person back to your community to get further engagement from that. Okay, now, if you send me an email at alex@funeralinnovations.com, what I'm gonna send you is a list of 30 Facebook posts that are personalized for your firm that you can use that follow the strategy we talked about today. Okay, so email that, say 30 free posts to alex@funeralinnovations.com. Now, if you stay tuned, next week on May 31st, we're going to be talking about how to be consistent and why consistency matters on your Facebook page. So stay tuned next week. We'll talk to you then.